y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Creatively Made. My name is Brittney. I am from LB Productions. I definitely want to say, hey, hope y'all have been good for the past 2 weeks. So we're going to give people a chance to come on in and make their way in. As you're coming in, say, hey, what you do, where you're watching from, just, a little bit about your business. Let's connect. We want to make sure that you're connecting with people. So that's the whole point of this, and to, of course, learn from each other. So I'm gonna check real quick, see who's on. Welcome everybody in. Let's see. There we go. We are moving and grooving today. Look, how's y'all's week going so far? I know I've been super busy. My day off did not even seem like a day off. I still had other stuff to do. So I am super, super excited. Let's see. All right. So with that being said, we are going to check and see. We got Zach in the background moderating for us. Say hi, Zach.
Hello, people.
So we are, let's see who's here. Let's see. All right. So anyways, we are going to go ahead and get into it. All right. So real quick, have y'all ever been in a quiet season? Like where you just feel like you're doing any and everything, but nothing's kind of really picking up, but everything's like just kind of quiet, just dead, almost like crickets. I've definitely been there. Actually, I've been there quite a few times, but that's not a bad thing. Sometimes we need the downtime versus, the uptime. But nonetheless, you definitely need that time to just kind of regroup, to figure things out, to, figure out how you're going to move into your next season, because the next season is supposed to be bigger, right? So we are talking about staying ready. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. So when you're in that quiet season, you want to make sure that you're doing things that are going to be fruitful. Of course, we always talk about, is it fruitful? Just kind of tying back into the last couple of episodes. I feel like that's in general what you need to do, is make sure things are fruitful, right? So what are you doing in your quiet season? That's what makes the difference. Are you wasting the time just kind of like, just not doing anything that's going to be productive? Or are you doing things that will kind of like push you forward in the next season when you do become busier? For me personally, like in my downtime, I make sure that I am, creating flyers, doing marketing, stuff that I would like to do on a regular basis, but sometimes it can get put on the back burner depending on what I got going on in my schedule, especially, around event season, prom, graduations, what else? Wedding season. Those, there's seasons for everything. And so there's a time to go and there's a time to sow. So are you sowing into your next season? And that's where your quiet season comes in at. So point number one for me is going to be keep pushing, keep on keeping on, keep creating, keep doing things, keep networking, keep reaching out to people, keep reevaluating, keep studying, keep practicing, keep getting better. What you're doing in your quiet season is really important. So you want to make sure that you're getting better at what you do, studying what you do, practicing. I know for me, sometimes like I will, if I don't have anything, I'll start creating things like logos. I'll redo not redo it, but like I'll revisit my website and be like, hey, what can I do to make this better? Does it read well? Like just evaluating different things and how you can basically do better in your business and what you're trying to create. Do you need to make a list of other people to reach out to? Do you need to, figure out, check in on your old clients, not your old clients, but like your previous clients, check in on them, be like, hey, it's been a minute. I was just checking to see if you, had any events coming up, what you doing, or just check in and say hi. I know, like, I do that with a good bit of my clients. So they'll be like, hey, Brittney, what's up? And I'll be like, hey, girl. So, but that's what I do with a lot of my clients. I try to just, round on them. I know back in the day when I was in healthcare, I was a tech. I loved it. Still, it's a form of serving, of course. I loved helping people, but when I had my patients, I would round on them. We would do hourly, 2-hour rounding. So every 2 hours, at least minimum, I was coming around being like, hey, do you need anything? They may not have needed anything, but they know that I'm coming back around. So they know that I'm going to be there for them. And that instills the trust in you and in you for your client. So just that's kind of, a way to think about it too. Round on your clients. Check on them. Make sure they're doing okay. So, but yeah, keep pushing. Keep on keeping on. Keep on creating. Keep on networking. Keep on doing anything that you can think of that would help you be better. Like for me personally, we all tend to get sucked into the whole social media scrolling timeline like for hours. I'm guilty. I'm guilty as well. However, a lot of my scrolling has to do with what I'm doing for my business. Of course, God, little funny memes or whatever. My friends know. the ones that I send reels to, they know who they are. But I want to say about maybe 70%, 70% to 80% of my timeline consists of photography tricks, video tricks, like just different ways to like do things. For me, inspiration. What are you using for inspiration? You got to keep yourself inspired. And that comes from looking at other people, and not to say that, oh, well, they're doing it, you can't do it. No, Mac did it, Rihanna did it. They doing the same exact thing, but they're doing it in their way. So again, like I said, keep on doing what you're supposed to be doing in that quiet season, because that's going to make a difference. Because when that big client does come along, you're like, hey, you are prepared to show them something. Be like, yeah, I've done this before. Here you go. So that part. So point number 2 is going to be, what is in your house? And I know that sounds weird, but as I was reading, and of course, my pastor preached on it as well, talking about, what do you have in your house? The woman came to Elisha and he was like, hey, what do you have in your house? She only had oil. So he told her to go and ask people for containers to put the oil in. And so she already had what she needed. She just needed help from others too. But the point is, she had what she needed initially in her house. So what do you have already that in your house, like in you, that you can use to further your business? What do you already have? What do you need? Those are things that you have to evaluate. You already have what you need, but you just need to figure out how to pour. You just need to figure out how to pour it out. It needs to come out of you. So, there's different ideas and different things that you have in place that, you need, and that you need to figure out how to pour out. So you already have it in you. God's already placed it in you. You just got to figure it out, and he'll help you. He's not going to send you exactly what you need, but he'll send you like if you need a fire, he's not going to send you a fire. He'll send you the things to make the fire. So he'll send you the ingredients. So like for me, he didn't send me big clients. He sent me ways to get to the big clients through working, through talking to people, through being in the rooms. So, those are things like he'll send you things that you need, the ingredients, because if he were to just give it to you, like, you wouldn't grow. It's all about the growth process. So that's one of the things to keep in mind too. What do you already have? Take a look internally. Instead of looking outwardly, look internally to be like, hey, what can I do with what I have? And that's really what makes a great, like somebody who can make something out of nothing. Does that make sense? So that is a question you need to ask yourself. What is in your house? Cool. So, all right. If you're just now coming in, go ahead and say hi, say what's up, show me where you are, or tell me where you're watching from. If you are replaying, definitely do a hashtag replay. Love all my replay. I love y'all. Y'all keep me going. But okay, moving on. Point number 3. Direction versus distraction. Know the difference. You need to know the difference between the two, because direction is where God is going to lead you. You know, distractions happen, and we always look at distractions as a bad thing, but I mean, it can be a good thing too. Now, let me elaborate on what I mean, right? So, distractions are not always bad. They good distractions will come, but that doesn't always mean it's good, if that makes sense. Like how do I say it? Like, what's good is not always good for you. Does that make sense? So just because it's good doesn't mean it's good for you. You have to like be able to discern whether or not that is actually meant for you or not. Like if somebody comes in and it's like, hey, I got this big job for you. And yes, it sounds like it's amazing, but it's going to cause you a whole bunch of stress. That ain't for me. I know for a fact that ain't for me. So with that being said, just know the difference between, you know, your direction and your distraction. And that comes through, of course, praying, understanding, you know, what God has for you and what he's called you to. He's called you to so many, to not so many things, but like he's called you to specific things. And you figure that out by hearing him, and you hear him through prayer, through spending time with him, just, you know, taking that time out to understand, hey, you know, I want to make sure that I am in the will of God, because you don't want to be outside of it, because that is a terrible place to be. But again, like I said, just making sure, you know the difference between direction and distractions, because there's a difference, and they can look similar though. So, you know, you may think the distraction may come along and you'd be like, oh, this looks like everything I prayed for. That is not for you. So again, you have to know the difference. So we're just gonna, you know, make sure that you hone in on that. So, all right, let's check in and see who's here. Oh my gosh, what is going on? All righty, cool. Y'all doing okay though? This one was kind of like, it wasn't hard, but it was like, how do I break this topic down? Because it's something that definitely needs to be talked about. And I'm just like, ooh, it's so good. So, but yeah, we're gonna.
Want to give us a
what we got in the comments?
A personal, well, as far as comments, our KTC page said, "What's good to you may not be good for you."
That is true. Yeah. Well, that is so true. What is good to you may not be good for you. So, I guess personal experience, right? You really gonna make me tell it?
I'll make you tell it. Go. Okay.
So, I'm telling on myself, but I spent a season where I was using my gifts, and where I thought it was good, it was not. You know, people were taking advantage, and people were, you know, I thought because I was doing it for this reason, I thought it was good, but it wasn't good. Like, it was causing me to be distracted. It was causing me to be in deficit. It was causing friction among like not all my friends, but like some of my friends, my family. Like, it was like I wasn't able to see it because I thought it was good and it wasn't. But you need to, and that's where having your boundaries comes in, making sure that you're not, allowing people to use you and use your gifts and talents that God is giving you. Because, God has called us to an abundant life, and he's called us to, be able to survive off the gifts that he's given us. He's, the Bible talks about workmen being worthy of his wages. So, again, like even in the last episode, we talked about sponsorship, but we also talked about getting paid as well. And again, it all comes down to discernment. And so in that season, because what I thought was good was not good for me, it allowed me to stay in a season where I wasn't good. And I mean, I'm just being transparent, but I think that would help somebody to understand and be like, hey, I gotta figure this out. I gotta have discernment. I gotta seek God in it to see whether or not, this is what he wants me to do. And then, so I'm like, God, why isn't this working out? It's not working out. Like, I done messed around and tried and traveled only to be gypped out in the end. But not to say that they're bad people, but it's like, I went to God and I was like, oh, why did this not work out the way it was supposed to? Like, why am I struggling so hard with this? And he's like, because I didn't tell you to do it. He's like, I didn't tell you to go out there and do that. I didn't tell you to do this. I told you to stay focused. But it's okay. I thank God for the lessons in every situation, so. All right, so we are going to recap real quick, and we're going to get on out of here because I know that y'all are ready to go, but it has been fun, and I really just wanted to kind of touch on this subject, what you're doing in your quiet season. So staying ready so you don't have to get ready, okay? So again, just to recap, point number 1 is keep pushing. Keep pushing, keep doing what you're doing, and make sure it's fruitful. Keep creating, keep networking, keep reaching out to people, keep rounding on your clients. Keep doing it because you want that retention there. You don't want to just be one and done. So keep studying, keep practicing, keep reaching out again and seeing what you can learn. Like if there's a situation where you can learn a new skill, do it. That's only going to better you at the end. So keep on keeping on. So point number 2, what's in your house? What do you already have inside of you that you can pull out and pour out for it to be beneficial to you? Look at the skills that you already have. Jump back to what you've learned in the past. Also, make sure that, you're honing the skills, like keep practicing again, making sure that you're utilizing the resources that you already have. So you don't have to go out and look for the resources that, you may already have. You know what I mean? So it's wasted time, wasted energy. We don't want that. We want to make sure we're being a good steward of our time, our energy, our resources. So just keep on making sure that, you're checking in with yourself and being like, hey, what can I do? Have I already tried this? Have I exhausted this resource? What have I already done? What's in your house? And once you, do that, figure out what you can do to help yourself pour out with it. So point number 3, direction versus distraction. You want to make sure that you understand the difference between those things. The direction, making sure that it's God led, making sure that, you understand where you're supposed to be going and where God has you at, versus the distraction, which is, it's glamorous, it's shiny, it looks big, and it's going to be great. But at the end of the day, it's not good for you. It looks good, but it's not good for you. And it may not be yours. So even if you're in a place where you're serving humbly, you're continuing to utilize your gifts in smaller avenues, and that's okay. I'm doing it right now. I've done it for years, serving in an area where, you're needed at the most, because not everything, that's good. Not all that glitters is gold. So you gotta mess around and get fool's gold out here. But I've seen people that have been compromised because they've reached these different levels too fast. And so you want to make sure that, you're remaining humble, you're, understanding what's for you, even though it's good, it may not be good for you. So knowing what's for you and what's not for you. So, and again, that comes through discernment, prayer, spending time with God, and understanding what he wants for you. So that's what I have for today. And I'm super excited that y'all decided to hop on. Again, if you are replaying, type #replay, put your business in the comments. If you have a business, we want to support you. We want to like your page. It doesn't cost anything to support people. It doesn't cost anything to share their page or share their posts or anything like that. It literally is free. So it takes all of maybe 2 seconds, and that's just even reposting, sharing to your story, whatever the case may be. But just go ahead and make sure you're putting that in there. Again, I appreciate you. We're 5 episodes in, but we're gonna keep going, and I can't wait to see what the next topic is going to be. It kind of comes to me during the week, but just real quick shout out to Keep the Change. They are an entity that is utilizing their resources through making customized shirts, a whole clothing line. A lot of the proceeds that they make goes towards helping further the agenda of Christ. Helping through missions, everything like that. Actually, I'll let the person say it themselves. Zach.
Spotlight. We're a Christian clothing brand aimed at celebrating and encouraging transformation through the renewing of the mind. That's only through the gospel, only through the scripture, that is the Bible. And we make dope clothes. So check us out at KTC Wear on Instagram and KTC Clothing on Facebook.
And keepthechange.stores where you can purchase. I know they have a sale going on right now for the winter line, but their new summer line is coming out, and it is fire, y'all. Like, it is so amazing. I can't wait. We got it going. So, we gonna have some videos coming out too. He's also an artist. Him and his wife just released a song called All I Need, and it is amazing. His wife has an amazing voice. I love you, Lee. You the best girl. But they just dropped their song not too long ago. Check it out. It is on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Music, all that good stuff. But they'll be having a video coming out as well for it. So we're gonna drop that real quick. But I'm excited, and we will see y'all next time. If you have any questions, definitely DM me. I do my best to get back to y'all as soon as I possibly can. So definitely we'll see y'all next time on Creatively Made 2 weeks from now, every other Tuesday. All right. See y'all later.